wherever you are. I am Dr. Bibian Ogwala, a lecturer in the Department of Languages, Faculty of Arts, National Open University of Nigeria, Abuja. I am your online facilitator for the course ENG453 Language and National Development. Welcome to week 5 of your online facilitation. Last week in week 4, we looked at development, theories of development, and the MDGs. This week in week 5, we are going to be looking at Nigeria Developmental Objectives. It is in Module 2, Units 4 and 5 of your course material. Thank you. My email is bugwala@noun.edu.ng. Week 5, National Developmental Objectives. It is in Module 2, Units 4 and 5 of your course material. Intended learning outcomes. At the end of the lecture, you should be able to define a nation, define national development, outline Nigeria's national development objective. Unit 4, National Development. Scholars hold that national development is not an easy concept to define. Obasi, 1987, gives reasons for the difficulty encountered in defining the concept. He holds that the term is ambiguous and is perceived differently by different people. To rise above the difficulties, which scholars suggest that the two words be analyzed separately and then bring them together. The two words are national and development. Activity 1. Before proceeding to watch the remaining part of this video, you have to partake in this activity. Write down 2 ways through which you think Nigeria can achieve national development. National. The word national is an adjective of another word, nation. To understand the meaning of national, we must first know the meaning of nation. Nation is a tricky word to define. It uses different meanings depending on the side from which it is approached. Majorly, the definition of nation is approached from 3 perspectives. 1. The cultural perspective. 2. The psychological perspective. And 3. The political perspective. Wellman's 2003 definition captures these 3 perspectives in the definition of a nation. According to him, a nation is a cultural group of people who identify with one another and either have or seek some degree of political self-determination. The cultural aspect of a nation demands the common possession of certain cultural elements like language, dressing, and so on. The psychological aspect emphasizes the consciousness of these possessions and the collective identity which they foist on all possessors. It is the political aspect that calls for self-determination. Thus, the definition given to a country can also be applied to a nation. In this regard, a nation is, according to Anders in 1996, a clearly defined territory which, 1. is recognized internationally as a state, 2. is presided over by a government able to make and enforce independent decisions concerning domestic policy and law and foreign policy, and 3. is permanently occupied by a specific population. From this understanding of nation, we can then infer what national is. National is the adjective of nation. It means that which belongs to a nation. That is, that which a nation possesses of a nation or nations. Consequently, national development is the development which belongs to a nation. The imperative on national development stems from the recognition that besides what the whole world has professed to achieve, each nation has to devise homegrown mechanism to improve the quantity and quality of lives of their citizens. What this means is that each nation has to come up with ways to improve the living standard of her people. It is also built on the understanding that all countries of the world do not share the same needs. In national development, each country focuses on what it considers important in the improvement of lives of its citizens. From the definition of national development, which we gave above, national development is not a destination. Let us look at phases of national development. A country does not need improvement in economic field alone. Beside economics, there is the political and the cultural. Consequently, we identify three phases of national development to include economics, the economics aspect, the political aspect, and the cultural aspect. The economic development. A nation's economic development has to do with the material improvements of members of that society. That is, how wealth is distributed among members of the society. This is a major determinant of material well-being of citizens of that society. In a nation, wealth is supposed to be distributed equally, not some part of the nation having more wealth than the other. When wealth is in the hands of a few people within a nation, such a nation is said to be poor. It also means that greater percentage of members of that society are lacking access to good health, clothing, food, education, and so on. But when wealth is evenly distributed among segments of a country, such a country is said to be wealthy. Political development. In political development, we are concerned with how a country organizes its politics. Political philosophers teach that the essence of all political organization is to ensure freedom for citizens, according to Arendt 2004. In evaluating the extent of political freedom within a country, one is likely to ask, to what extent is a citizen involved in the selection of his leaders? To what extent is he accorded the right to express his opinion on issues that caught his interest? To what extent is a citizen allowed to present himself for leadership positions? Do citizens have right to pursue any legitimate employment of their choice? And so on and so forth. Rights, duties, and responsibilities are distributed equally among citizens, and no citizen is considered more important than the other. That is, everybody in Nigeria is supposed to have equal rights to everything, equal right to good health, equal right to clean water, equal right to freedom of expression. You don't give a particular group of people, a particular group or an ethnic group right over the other. Cultural development. Culture, as defined by Iwe 1985, refers to the way of life of a people, a way of life that reflects their distinctive genus and spirits, their fundamental character or ethos, their value orientation, worldview, institutions, and achievements in the various fields of human endeavor, legal and literally, artistic and scientific, religious, philosophical, and technological. A national culture is the way a nation does its things. It includes the way citizens of that nation sleep, the type of books they read, the automobile they favor, and so on and so forth. Thus, cultural development within a nation involves improvement on the way citizens of a nation do their things as well as improvement on their attitudes and morals. We must know that cultural improvement is not about imitating other people's way of doing things. A nation is supposed to have its own culture, its own its own way of dressing, not copying foreign cultures. Unit 5, Nigerian National Development Objectives. What can be regarded as Nigeria's national development objectives can be glimpsed in the document of the 1981 National Policy on Education. In that document, a list of what the country should aim in its march towards national development is boldly outlined. They include the following: a free and democratic society, a just and egalitarian society, a unified, strong, and self-reliant nation, a great and dynamic economy, a land of great opportunities for all citizens. I know you will agree with me that Nigeria has the potential to achieve all this. A free and democratic society. Freedom and democracy are linked concepts. They relate to conditions necessary for one to actualize oneself without hindrance, to be the best one can be, and to join hands with others in deciding one's destiny. A just and egalitarian society. A just society is one where justice reigns. One of the most popular conceptions of justice is that by John Rawls, 1971. He conceived He conceives justice as fairness. This fairness is to be observed more in a nation in a distributive situation. It accounts for equitable distribution of gains, pains, advantages, and disadvantages of society. A just society ensures that the societal goods as well as its evils are not borne by a segment of the society alone. It also frowns at the enjoyment of any special privilege for a segment of the society. A unified, strong, and self-reliant nation. Nigeria is a diverse country with multiplicity of ethnic groups, language, religion, etc. These factors at times tend to constitute diverse elements in the country. But despite the existence of these factors, a unified Nigeria is a possibility. This is achieved through emphasizing the things that unite rather than the ones that divide. A unified Nigeria is quite important if all citizens are to cooperate towards building a vibrant, strong, and self-reliant nation. A great and dynamic economy. Building a great and dynamic economy is necessary for the satisfaction of the needs of the citizens. Today, Nigeria economy is described as a mono-economic economy dependent on oil and oil-related businesses. The abundance of natural resources has not been well exploited. A number of resources have not been tapped by the country. A land of bright opportunity for all citizens. Activity 2. Write down 5 factors that can hinder a nation's development. Conclusion. In this lecture, we have defined a nation, national development. We have outlined Nigeria's national developmental objective. A nation can develop fast if there is national unity and all are treated equally and fairly. Thank you.